Hello. In this section, we will cover various aspects of commercial television in general, look at how it began and spread globally, the prevailing trends across the world and in India, and gaze into the days ahead. Our subject expert is Shikha Gandhi and I am Monica Verma. In addition, we will also be examining what commercial broadcasting and commercial television imply. We will see the historicity of the public model of TV broadcasting as well as scrutinize how we have traversed both routes in India. We will then go on to what are various aspects of commercial television, sponsors, prime time slots and viewership statistics, programming patterns, advertisement creation and placements. Also, on our plate will be the new trends in programming digitization, niche channels and regionalization, all drivers of revenue in the context of commercial television. Finally, we will examine the phenomena of brand and product placement in soaps and TV serials and the triangular war between the people who make the content, those who place the brands and the channels who broadcast it. But hey, let's first understand what commercial broadcasting is all about. Commercial broadcast is the concept of the broadcasting of television and radio programs by privately owned corporate media as opposed to state ownership. In Latin America, the term private television is used. Commercial television began in the United States in the 1920s. At the same time, the public television model, born in Europe in the 1930s, 40s and 50s and dominant worldwide except in the United States until the 1980s. Today, it is the historically global and dominant model of television and broadcasting. In India, television came on the public television format in the 1950s and stayed the same way till the middle 80s until sponsorships began in a big way. Today, thanks to cable and satellite, we too follow the commercial television format. Now let us examine what commercial television consists of. Commercial television means having sponsored content and the use of massive amount of TV commercials. From the 10-seconder to the 20, 30, 40 and the 60-seconder, the television commercial has become one of the most effective, persuasive and popular method of selling products of many sorts, especially consumer goods. Historically, in early television broadcast days, programs were hosted by single advertisers. This, in turn, gave great creative license to the advertisers over the content of the show. Later, many television networks shifted to the magazine concept, introducing commercial breaks with multiple advertisers. The same format is followed by advertisers across the world and closer home in India as well. Advertising rates are determined primarily by program popularity ratings. The time of the day and popularity of the channel determine how much a television commercial can cost. Conversely, lesser viewed time slots such as early mornings and weekday afternoons are often sold in bulk to producers of infomercials. In recent years, the paid program or infomercial has become common, usually in lengths of 30 minutes or 1 hour. Some TV programs also weave advertisements into their shows, a practice begun in film and known as product placement. For example, a character could be drinking a certain kind of soda, going to a particular chain restaurant or driving a certain make of car. As we will see later, in India, this phenomena has moved from in-film placement to placements within TV serials and soaps with high viewer ratings. Let us look at some countries with a different model, the public model of TV broadcasting. In the United Kingdom, the TV regulator oversees TV advertising in the United Kingdom. Its restrictions have applied since the early days of commercially funded TV. Restrictions mean that the big three national commercial TV channels, ITV, Channel 4 and 5, can show an average of only 7 minutes of advertising per hour, 8 minutes in the peak period. Other broadcasters must average no more than 9 minutes, 12 in the peak. There also must be clear demarcations in time between the programs and the advertisements. The BBC, being strictly non-commercial, is not allowed to show advertisements on television in the UK, although it has many advertising funded channels abroad. The majority of its budget comes from TV licensing and the sale of content to other broadcasters. Taxation and licensing in commercial television. Television services in several countries may be funded by a television license or a form of taxation, which means advertising plays a lesser role or none at all. For example, some channels may carry no advertising at all and some very little, including Australia, ABC, Japan, NHK, Norway, NRK, Sweden, SVT, United Kingdom, BBC. The BBC carries no advertising on its UK channels and is funded by an annual license paid by all households owing a television. This license fee is set by the government, but the BBC is not answerable to or controlled by the government. The two main BBC TV channels, 1 and 2, are watched by almost 90% of the population each week and overall have 27% share of total viewing. The license that funds the 7 advertising free BBC TV channels currently costs £139.5 a year, about US $215, irrespective of the number of TV sets owned. When the same sporting event has been presented on both BBC and commercial channels, the BBC always attracts the lion's share of the audience, indicating viewers prefer to watch TV uninterrupted by advertising. There are similar patterns for Australian Broadcasting Corporation. In France and Ireland, government-funded channels carry advertisements, yet those who own television sets have to pay an annual tax, as well as in Japan for NHK. Subscription model of TV broadcast and programming. Some TV channels are partly funded from subscriptions, therefore the signals are encrypted during broadcast to ensure that only the paying subscribers have access to the decryption codes. Most subscription services are also funded by advertising. Programming genres. Television genres include a broad range of programming types that entertain, inform, and educate viewers. The most expensive entertainment genres to produce are usually drama and dramatic miniseries. However, other genres such as historical, Western genres may also have high production costs. Popular entertainment genres include action-oriented shows such as police, crime, detective, dramas, horror, or thriller shows. In addition to this, there are also other variants of the drama genre such as medical dramas and daytime soap operas. Science fiction shows may be classified into drama or action category, depending on whether they emphasize philosophical questions or high adventure. Comedy is a popular genre which includes situation, comedy, sitcom, and animated shows for the adult demographic such as South Park. The least expensive forms of entertainment programming are game shows, talk shows, variety shows, and reality TV. Game shows show contestants answering questions and solving puzzles to win prizes. Talk shows feature interviews with film, television, and music celebrities and public figures. Variety shows feature a range of musical performers and other entertainers such as comedians and magicians introduced by a host or master of ceremonies. As we are now witnessing a lot in India as well, reality TV shows regular people, that is not actors, who are facing unusual challenges or experiences ranging from arrest by police officers, cops, to weight loss, The Biggest Loser. A variant version of reality shows depicts celebrities doing mundane activities such as going about their everyday life, the Osbournes, Snoop Dogg's fatherhood, or doing manual labor, Simple Life, or facing eviction from a captive 24/7 environment, Big Boss, where the eventual winner takes home a hefty cash prize. Despite the internet's steady rise in popularity over the last few years, television remains the dominant medium in most US households. On an average, the general population spends over 4.5 hours a day in front of the tube, making TV watching one of the most common modern leisure activities. In the late 80s of the previous century, the arrival of cable television lowered production costs and the opportunity to reach smaller, more targeted markets, making it a viable option for small to medium-sized businesses as well. To create an effective television ad, it is first necessary to have a good script that highlights a strong offer.
The man among scars.
टाइट है, खुशबू है और सफेदी भी। और क्या चाहिए हम?
मम्मी आंटी चौक क्यों गई?
टाइट से कहीं बेहतर सफेदी ले रिन अब चौंकाने वाले दाम में। नया रिन सिर्फ 25 रुपए में।
These are Australia's 2 leading breakfast biscuits. They don't look much different, do they? But they are. Because Vitabrits has no added sugar, not a single grain of it.
No added sugar.
Vitabrits still has all the vitality you'd expect from a whole grain wheat biscuit. Vitabrits for vitality. But not for added sugar.
Ads must also be effectively produced, and it is for this reason that it is often better to enlist the services of an advertising agency which helps conceptualize and implement an entire 360-degree campaign. Some of the advantages of advertising on television include the following. TV reaches a much larger audience than local newspapers and radio stations, and it does so during a short period of time. It reaches viewers when they are the most attentive. It allows you to convey your message with sight, sound, and motion, which can give your business, product, or service instant credibility. It gives you an opportunity to be creative and attach a unique identity to your business, which can be particularly effective for small businesses that rely on repeat customers. And now, some disadvantages to TV advertising. For all its advantages, advertising on TV does have some disadvantages. Barring late-night spots on the local cable television network, no other advertising medium is as likely to eat up a budget as quickly as TV will. Producing the ad, which can include hiring scriptwriters, actors, film editors, or an advertising agency, is only the first step. Advertisers must also pay for airtime, and because studies have shown that TV ads are most effective with repetition, they will almost certainly want to run their piece a number of times. Because of this, most television stations structure their pricing to make it more attractive for advertisers to purchase advertising airtime in chunks. Another disadvantage is how difficult it can be to make changes. Whereas with newspaper advertising, updating sale pricing or a special offer is often as simple as swapping out a coupon. With television advertising, it means updating your script and reshooting the entire ad, which costs additional money. It can also be difficult to effectively target your core audience with television advertising, although there are a few best practices that can help. For starters, consider who your audience is before structuring your ad and purchasing airtime. Is a large portion of your clientele Gujarati speaking? If so, you would do well to purchase airtime on Gujarati language cable and satellite channels that cater to your specific audience. And if you are in the baby soap business, you are probably better off purchasing time slots during the day when stay-at-home moms are most likely to see your ad. But let's examine the transitions in Indian television from public to commercial. In India, as early as the early 90s, cable and satellite channels started beaming programs directed at viewers in urban, English-speaking India. State-run Doordarshan and AIR then became corporatized after the passing of the Prasar Bharati Bill in 1997. Content changes became dramatic as the Star network went into Hindi and language-specific programming in the next few years. Today, content is region-specific and in tune with the audience's entertainment and infotainment needs, together with commercial considerations. Current trends in commercial TV. To check out how commercial television is faring in India as per the survey of IRS R3, TV penetration of households is 79%, out of which 69% is cable and satellite. The real growth in TV advertising is coming from these CNS homes. TV penetration has grown by 5%, whereas CNS has grown by 7% over 2009 and 2010. Some of the key factors for the growth in television are competition and growth expanding the market. This has given rise to consolidation of operations. 2010 witnessed the adverse impact of the growth on smaller players who found it difficult to survive in the given scenario. This could help in emergence and growth of players with superior product, marketing, distribution, technological and innovation capabilities. In turn, this is likely to aid the growth in the overall market size and reach for the industry. Merger and acquisition activities in this space over the next 2 years are expected to significantly increase along with the level of participation by private equity players. fragmentation leads into broadened horizons. Entry of new customers, players and regions are on continuous increase and are thereby creating wider inroads in other domains beyond their traditional home grounds. Also, players from other sectors like IT, telecom, etc. have entered the industry. Foreign players are also looking at increasing investments in their Indian portfolios. Regionalization fuels market growth and allows convergence of media. Growing regionalization is also helping some regional players to become strong by tapping newer markets. Regionalization not only includes all the 4 South markets, but now additionally we can include West Bengal and Maharashtra. Media plans no longer work on the regular channel spillover. Markets like UP, Punjab are seeing the advent of regional specific channels such as Bhojpuri language Mahua TV. Also, media players such as Network 18 are looking at leveraging their content across platforms, TV, internet, news, entertainment, DTH, leading to the emergence of conglomerates. Cricket has become a regular phenomena with more than 150 days of India playing cricket. 2011 is witnessing a titanic clash, a fight for the viewer eyeball, for the first time the World Cup and IPL in the same season. Today, advertising just on air in cricket is estimated to be in the region of Rs 1100 to Rs 1300 crore. Next year, it is estimated to grow to Rs 2200 crore. It continues to remain the single biggest entertainer across the nation. Embracing digitization. Availability and penetration of newer distribution platforms like digital cable, DTH and IPTV. The industry has benefited from digitization and the growth is likely to continue in the years to come. Doordarshan is also in the midst of massive broadcast digitization plans. Currently, DTH is growing at the rate of 30% and is expected to reach a base in excess of 30 MN household by the end of 2011. The digitization of TV platforms has resulted in better technology and picture and sound quality for viewers, more transparent distribution of revenues for stakeholders in the value chain, and more bandwidth becoming available to broadcasters, giving them opportunity to provide value-added services. All this has led to growth in advertising on DTH by availability of newer avenues, possibility of more target-specific advertising, interactive content, gaming, sales, HD feeds being available, e-language options, the ability to record and view live content. More is less, content hunger grows. Tentpoles and reality shows, new seasons of Big Boss, newer formats like MasterChef, celebrity programs, blockbuster movies, award shows, dance programs, and much more. The list keeps getting longer. Approximately 20% of total programming time is devoted to reality shows, up from 16% in 2010. These shows have high input costs, which are mainly due to celebrities, outdoor shoots, expensive production, high marketing costs, niche fragmentation, and the emergence of the long tail. Today, channels are available for each specific infotainment needs. If you are interested in gadgets, health, food, travel and lifestyles, cars, etc., there is a TV channel that caters to that specific need. Moving on now to something we discussed earlier, the concept of product placement in serials and soaps. We take the case of the recently aired popular soap Jassi Jaisi Koi Nahi. when Jassi and Nandu purchase a larger-than-life Mercedes car, they don't stop making horns and gurgles about it. Another scene from the snap displays the oh-so-beautiful model Malaika Khan in the folds of L'Oreal Fashion Week. A lot more noise is made about L'Oreal than about the model per se. A few days after the Malaika incident, Mandira Bedi stops by at an office just to say hi, and while she's at it, she displays Asmi diamonds in addition to an Asmi carry bag. What's more, she mouths the inner fire message quite a few times for those who haven't noticed the brand message on hoardings already. Many channel heads feel that brand placement within serials is a mutually beneficial association for both brand custodians and channels. For those who seek an unconventional route to reaching their target audience, this is the next big thing. The advertiser can position his or her brand in a scene and be assured that involvement levels exist and their brand will be noticed and lead to preference. Suddenly we see that the two C's, content and commerce, are no longer separate but have blended in without any distinctions. But having said that, it is pertinent to mention that the placement needs to be engineered with much care, and it does not stick out like a sore thumb. Some impediments that stand in the way of product placement within serials can be counted as: first, unlike placement within films, this arena involves three stakeholders: the marketer, the channel, and the producer. Second, channels insist that deals on product placement ought to be chalked out with them. The third angle is that of the production houses, who feel that while they are the ones depicting the brand within the storyline, so shouldn't they be the beneficiaries? There is no clear consensus on the sharing of money between the channel and the production house. The helpless marketer is thus a confused, much fleeced man. Plus, placements within serials are often shoddily executed and do not involve as much money or prospects as the big screen. Recap. Summing up the capsule on commercial television then, let's do a recap. We saw how commercial TV evolved, became dominant the world over except for pockets in Europe and Japan. Next we saw what it means to have a commercial TV model. Then we examined how ads bring viewers of content and programs closer to certain brands which sponsor the programs. Finally, we looked at trends on commercial television, that is the dominant world of TV broadcasting globally as well as closer home. We also saw how regionalization, niche channels, and segmentation of cable and satellite channels will pave the way for driving revenue in terms of the future. And finally, we agreed that while content may well be the king on television, but it is being increasingly forced to share the throne with commerce, that is queen. That is all for today. Thanks, and we'll catch you next time.